It's a pleasure to introduce Sir this this Sunday morning. And Sir has agreed to take the session on Sunday morning, sparing his time. Thank you so much, Sir. So let me introduce you to Sir. Professor Kannan Krishnamoorthy was one of the first faculty members to join as a reader of biotechnology at the University of Poona, that is Savitribai Phule University, under the MSc Biotechnology program, NBTB, initiated by Dr. S. Ramachandran to create manpower for the emerging area. He was the former Vice-Chancellor of Nagaland Central University, the first professor and founder, Dean of the University School of Biotechnology, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, and the first Convenor of Biotechnology for CBSE Schools in 2002. He is well known as a protein chemist who established facilities at CFTRI and CCMB, and he was also a director at SPAN Research Centre Surat, where he explained the mechanism of bone marrow transplantation and GM, and associate director of biotechnology at Ranbaxy Research Lab. He developed the process of making whey protein concentrate for Mahan proteins and fish technique for DSS image technique. He is currently the founder of KKBiotech, a registered company promoting biotechnology. On behalf of Guru Nanak Khalsa College Department of Biotechnology, and with the blessings of our former HOD, Dr. Sneha Panwalkar, I welcome you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Indu, for the kind
Sir.
introduction. So welcome all SY and TY BSc Biotech students. Today I'm going to directly start with your, questions which you had sent me. So we are not going to go through the earlier one because you can go and see the video and get yourself familiar. So we are starting with the questions raised by the students. Okay. And so one of the student wrote, my end goal is to pursue a MBA, but I don't want to do as a fresher and thus would like to have some credible work experience. But BSc in biotechnology itself won't fetch me anything significant. So I am planning to get my master's done as well and then go for MBA. What job profiles like research oriented or business oriented should I search for that I could be counted as relevant work experience? Okay. I think it's a very valid one. I think you are very wise to decide that if you want to do MBA, you would ideally like to have a work experience. And when you talk of work experience, I also feel that can you somebody can you mute because I'm hearing a lot of background noise. Okay, so after BSc you can go for there is what is called BCIL. Have you heard of that? Biotechnology Consortium India Limited. So they provide you 6 months internship in some industry or the other. I strongly suggest many of you can apply for that, and if you get selected, they pay money also, I understand, to this thing. Go through that. That way you will get, and then you apply for. In the meantime, you can simultaneously prepare for your MBA and look for this thing. So you will get, job profile you are looking for. You want to have an experience, so I strongly suggest you can go through BCIL and then take your call. Next student is saying, I am planning to switch to food technology for my master's after my bachelor in biotechnology. Okay. Because mostly students are recruited in biopharmaceutical or pharmaceutical company, but I want to be associated with the food industry. Will this be a rational decision? Right across your college, there is one called the Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, which was earlier UDCT. They have a very big food technology division there. One of the ways to know more about the food technology business, I think you can get a feel from there by talking to some of the research scholars or some of the students there. Now, food technology being rampant and it is a very big field, the kind of salaries you will get will not be that high. That's what I am observing. But if you are specifically interested, I can put you in touch with somebody who is in the food technology, because he was my batchmate who did BSc. Then he went and did BTech in UDCT, then what is called Indian Institute of Chemical Technology. And and then he is now, he worked in a lot of companies. Now he is also running his own company. So if you want, I can help you in talking to him. What is the prospect over here? The third person is, I'm planning to pursue perfumery, but they all need an MSc or BTech degree in order to be eligible for the same. Now, I'm not sure whether your family has a perfumery business or something, so you want to get in, or you are a first-time person who want to get it. I do not know. Now, France is a very good country to go and learn about perfumery, because a lot of people go there. But there is also a perfumery association in India, which you can check up on the net and talk to them. That if you want to do this, what should be this thing, okay? That's one. Now, another is, should I do biochemical, or is there a way to get perfume after doing BSN? That you'll have to check up with the perfumery association, how you can get in. I cannot offhand say much about it. Which job is preferred, the best for biotechnology, and what is the scope? There is nothing called which job is preferred, because all the areas are important. In the end, I will show you so many areas. It could be medical biotechnology, it could be agricultural biotechnology, it could be marine biotechnology. Everything has a scope. There's a huge market. So it's very difficult to say which job is preferred. There's nothing like job, it depends on you. And every job has its own career path. So it is very difficult to say what is the scope. Scope is what you create. If you are good, you will see opportunity. So you will have to look for the opportunity. Nobody is going to say this is the scope. Because what scope people talk is something which everybody has followed. So if you want to know and you would like to do better, you will, once you enter, you will know by talking to others where is the scope. Okay. In which all sectors can a biotechnology graduate get a job? Okay, preferably a secured job. I was thinking to give a Tata Institute MSc. I think, see, when you are a BSc, you will get the lower level technical job only. You will not get the managerial job. But the advantage of a lower level job is you will be rotating. You may be working in quality control, or you might be working in R&D, or you will be doing in-process quality control. You might be working in stores, or you may be in manufacturing. But as this thing, since you are only a graduate, 1 or 2 years exposure to all the divisions if you can get. It is like many companies always have what is called management training. So what they do in the management training is they take you through all sections, you get familiar. So I feel that you could look at if you are looking for a job like thing. I think lower level entry is good, because then you will be pushed into all divisions and take it as an opportunity to learn about many of them. Okay. There's nothing called a secure job, let me tell you. Only way secure job is to join government. But government also is now changing, because they want to review your performance in every 5 years. Even civil servants are being terminated in service. Even though it was a permanent one, they are being terminated in service. They said, you are no good, you are of no use to us. So there's nothing called a permanent or a secure job. Let me be very clear. As far as the Tata Institute MSc is there, that is more a MSc by research. So Tata Institute does a lot of fundamental work in cutting edge area. So if you are interested in working in cutting edge area and get trained in the skills, etc., certainly MSc program in Tata Institute of Fundamental Sciences is very good. Another is there is also what is called a MS PhD program, which is offered by Indian Institute of Sciences, Bangalore, National Centre for Biological Sciences. I'm sure a whole of other institutions are also offering these, or MScs are also offered in IITs. So they are also worth going there. And now we have a new set of institutions called ISER, Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. Please look up at, they are there in Mohali, they are in Bhopal, a whole lot of places they are. So Poona is one of the well-known centers. So you can look at it. So they are all offering MSc program. They are even offering a integrated 5-year program after school also. So the number of institutions are many, so we can always look. Anybody has any question to ask among the people who asked these questions? Hello? Was the answer satisfactory so far?
Sir, how to take admission in abroad?
No,
How do
I'll
I
come to
exams and
no. Abroad one I'll come now, because we will go down one by one. I'm just clearing this one. Abroad one, since you are, you'll have to appear in the GATE exam, in the GRE exam, Graduate Record Examination. Because many of them prefer a GRE score. If it is Germany, they don't need, you just apply and you get it. You know, if you are selected, you are selected. But some of them, like Göttingen University, conduct what is called a entrance exam. They do for MS, PhD in neuroscience, molecular biology, things like that. So you could, Göttingen University has produced, as you know, about 43 Nobel laureates. So it's a very prestigious institute to get admission. So you can go through that since you're talking of foreign. USA, the only issue is that you can finish your MS, then they give what is called on-professional training. Okay, that is OPT. So you can work for 3 years or 5 years. I don't know what is the new rule now. But by that time, you should get a, apply for a green card. The process is long, or you need a certain kind of visa to continue there. But certainly, doing an MS there will give you a chance to work in industry, because MS people are, MS in any subject is picked up very fast. So that is possible. Anything else you want to ask?
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Bolo.
Sir, thank you so much for enlightening us with your words of wisdom.
No.
So,
Tell me.
for the first question that was posed, sir, could you please elaborate a little on the job profile or the work profile an MBA aspiring student should look for? Like, it should be more oriented towards the research or the non-technical business stuff like sales and management or like marketing.
Yes. No, it depends. See, today MBA is being offered in varieties of subjects. Okay. It is no more like the old traditional, like finance, marketing, sales. Now you will see they even offer a MBA in biopharmaceutical technology. So nowadays, just like biotechnology has so many branches, MBA has also lots of branches. So it is no more the old traditional MBA as far as I understand. Did I answer your question?
Very much. Thank you so much.
Okay. But we can always discuss later. I can put you in touch with some people who have done MBA, and you can talk to them also. Okay. Okay. Somebody asked a very nice question. I was thinking of the Tata Institute MSc entrance exam in clinical research after BSc. Certainly, one of the main focus of our country is translational science. That is how to take from the laboratory discovery to the patient's bedside. So to do anything, you have to do clinical research. In fact, you would have recently noticed that Prime Minister had signed up an agreement with WHO for setting up for our traditional medicine like Ayurveda drugs to be tested. It is coming up in Jamnagar. They just signed a few weeks back. So that I think government is putting some $250 million or something. So 250 million, $1 million is about 7 crores. So you can imagine 250 into 7 is the kind of figure we are talking about. So clinical research is going to become a big this thing, because safety of any medicine is important. So doing an MSc in clinical research will certainly, you will be picked up in any of the big, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trials. Some of them also do what is called preclinical research also. That also is equally this thing. But if you want to know more, certainly I can tell you about it, okay? Now, entrance exam are part of every institution. In fact, now only UGC is talking of a single exam for central universities. So a lot of changes are happening now. So you may have to give one or very few entrance exam, hopefully. Now, somebody asked how to apply to BRC. Is there any entrance after MS? BRC is a very interesting concept. What is Baba Atomic Research Center? They have what is called a training school. Please read about the training school. So there they pick up students, even I am told BTech, BSc, MSc, you appear for the exam interview, and if you found, then you get a job on the spot. 1 year training followed by putting in one of their division, and they pay better salary than normal government institutions pay, because that is governed by Department of Atomic Energy. And I understand that in organizations like BRC, there is what is called, if you are very ambitious, there is what is called a fast track. If you are not ambitious, there is what is called a slow track. So if you are on a fast track, you will be interviewed every 2 years or 3 years, and you will get your next promotion. So BRC is a very interesting place because the training school is there and it's very well established. Thanks to Homi J. Baba, who started this whole thing. In fact, all our space program and nuclear program and all, the primary nodal institution was Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. And from there, many things happened. So Homi J. Baba was involved with all that. So certainly BRC gives somebody looking for a exciting, secure job. Certainly BRC is a very good opportunity. Okay. Another question asked is, after BSc in biotechnology, MSc in forensic science should lead to a good career. Certainly, in fact, Ahmedabad has a forensic science institute itself, Government of India runs, and this has become, because forensic science has become very, very hot area for obvious reasons, and especially after the the DNA testing and all that, it has become a very hot. But they not only do DNA testing, they do a whole lot of other things, like one spot of blood sample they take and do a lot of analysis in the crime scene, etc. So I think forensic science is certainly an exciting field to get in, but I do not know kind of a government only has many forensic units all over the country because they need this thing. So I'm sure the job opportunities must be reasonably good. What are the scope and career opportunities in food technology, and how I can switch to that after my completion of Bachelor in Biotechnology? In fact, the food technology, I find a lot of startups have come up, and interestingly, the food technology now, like for example, say somebody doesn't want to eat meat, but he wants to feel as if he is eating meat. Okay, what they call as mock meat. So people are trying to convert plant proteins into, meat-like texture. The technology they use is what is called extrusion technology. So what happens is, now you will see, avoid meat. It increases CO2 levels. All kind of write-ups are coming up. So I think there are a lot of people doing it. But the best part of these kind of products is that since you have BSc Biotechnology knowledge, and I can certainly help you to develop some of these products, and you can become an entrepreneur also. I have helped some of the entrepreneurs earlier, so I certainly can help you, because that's a huge area. Because in India, vegetarians have a big problem of quality nutrition. So they lack in things like proteins, etc. So nowadays people are trying to make food, which has higher protein, say 20% protein or more. And these are all technologies very easy to adopt. Only thing which I find is, how do you store them? It is like, you need a cold storage. That has been the technical problem. Until, because anything will get spoiled wherever there is moisture. So ideally, moisture should be below 5% for it to survive. So, but certainly cold storages are improving. And I would say, if you want to be an entrepreneur in food technology, certainly it is a good opportunity, and we can talk separately how to go about it. Okay. Any questions on this? Hello. Anybody wants to ask any questions so far till question 6? So we'll discuss it later. Then somebody said master in biotechnology should be pursued in India itself or in foreign countries. Which is the best option? And if out of India, which university is preferred? Well, it depends upon what you have to do is you look at the whoever is offering the MSc program, look at the faculty profile. Because it is very important that are they doing some research? Because nowadays it is important to have both research and teaching going together. Unlike your college and all, where the focus is on teaching, research is not that important. But MSc, once you come to all these institutions, have research components. So you will have to study each one, and if you have narrowed down to some in this thing, then if you talk to me and let me see the profile, I can give you my opinion. What area is very good in this institute, because every institution has certain strength, and based upon that you have to take a call. You cannot say, I join anywhere. It requires a lot of things. Because some people may be very strong in molecular biology, somebody might be very good in immunology, somebody might be very good in, say, downstream processing, things like that. So it depends what you want to become and what is the strength of it. So that is a case by case basis. I cannot say this is the best. All are, it's an individual choice what one wants to do. So I wouldn't like to comment on which university is preferred and all that, because it varies from place to place. Because if there is a one good person, that can make all the difference. Okay. You want to ask anything in this? Okay. Another is, after my BSc in Biotech, I want to go to the medical biotechnology side, so that we are the best. What are the best possible options to go for, like the universities and exams? Well, nowadays, medical biotechnology program in MSc are being offered by many. Okay. But then medical biotechnology differs whether you want to specialize in biochemistry, you want to specialize in, blood banking, things like that, or you want to do in microbiology. Because one of the very hot areas today is gut microbiology. Because they think that because of processed food we are taking, our gut microbiome has changed a lot, and they are causing a lot of diseases. So nowadays people are looking how to change the gut microbiome. So that's why they talk about probiotics and things like that. And because of that, now people are looking at how to do. So that's why you hear probiotic going in a very big way in the whole market. Okay. So certainly medical biotechnology depends which area you want. Even you can do a medical genetics, equally open. So, or you can do medical genomics. So it's again a broad spectrum, and what you want to do, we can have a separate talk. And many of them have entrance exam, I'm sure, and we can look at it that way. Okay. Is MSc in biotechnology a better option, or is MSc in a specific field like MSc in medical biotechnology a better option? What has the better scope? See, when you do a general biotechnology course, you get exposed, you get a feel of all the subjects, what is going on. But once you go into a specific field, your specialization gets narrowed down. So what happens then? Your scope of migrating becomes less. So it depends upon whether you want to do a general MSc biotechnology or a specific area. Is a decision depending upon which career you want to pursue. But I can also tell you today, each area has become very specialized. Generalists don't have that much scope as a specialist has. So I'm seeing a lot of things which I can discuss in the end. what are the changes happening? Because with the automation coming and artificial intelligence coming, one of the biggest problem we are facing is what is our role in all this? If artificial intelligence is going to tell you, look, what decision to make, then what do they need me for? So these are all issues which are coming. So you have to be very careful that you don't go out of business. Then ultimately, like I remember, we used to have what is called diploma in medical laboratory technology. So they used to do biochemistry, microbiology, everything. Now with this automation coming, many of them have just gone to collect the blood sample and give it to the company. It goes into the machine, gets done. So, now diploma in medical laboratory technology is not a very preferred one, because your job is only to, collect the blood and collect it in the vials and label it and send it to the company for analysis, and the evening the report comes. So you have to be very careful which area you are getting, and that needs a separate discussion. UGC granted permission for a dual degree program at the same time, but that is going to get into effect only now, so you will not be affected at this point. But however, why do you want to officially do? You can also do the dual degree like doing something else side by side what you are doing. That's what I'm trying to suggest. That if you want to know how a field is, we can do it independently. I can give you a guidance on what to go about, or put you in touch with somebody who will do it. So once you get familiar, the company only looks whether you know how to do it, and they don't care if you have a degree or not. You have a basic degree in BSc, and if you know something, it is like some people know some of the software like Python or MATLAB thing. But they get picked up because they said, you know how to use it, fine, come, we need you. So nowadays, you should rather, instead of wasting time, and I wouldn't say wasting time, but dual degree kind of thing, decide, okay, I want to become this, I want to know this, go and experience the application of that. I think that is also equally possible. Okay. Can we do MSc? Obviously, I mean, the MSc can do it any time, MSc in biotechnology or whatever. Okay, and in principle, you should be able to do MSc Biotechnology and MBA. In fact, the university where I was teaching earlier, we used to have students used to do a 5-year program. 4 years they will do BTech in biotechnology, simultaneous to this thing, and for 5th year do only management, and they get a dual degree. In fact, BITS Pilani started the dual degree program, if I remember, in the 1970s. So it's nothing new. Nowadays, more noise is made, but it was always there. Okay. Will it be better in India or abroad? See, everything has a plus and minus point. So it's very difficult to say which is better. That needs a separate discussion. What you want to do? Okay. Any questions? Can I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I hope if you are not clear what I'm saying, you can ask me to repeat. Feel free to do that. Okay. So same issue, the UGC granted we just discussed. Okay, which country has the best scope for biotechnology? Well, scope-wise, if you say, everybody, even Indian pharma companies go to America to sell their product, because even I remember when I was in Ranbaxy, suppose they are earning 100 rupees, 50 rupees used to come from sales in USA. So certainly USA is the biggest market as far as the money making is concerned, because cost of everything is very high there. Okay. Whereas Singapore is a very good place to go and study, because Singapore has set up very good biotechnology institutions, because they hired somebody whom I knew, I used to know him, a man called Sidney Brenner, who went and set up the biotechnology in Singapore. He was a Nobel Prize winner, one of the very well-known people in the world. So he set up the whole thing, and after that, another person whom I knew, David Lane, took over. Now I heard he has retired. So what I'm saying is, Singapore certainly is a beautiful place to do any biotech program, because they have standardized the whole thing. And see, the beauty of those places, they work very hard. So people work day and night. So Singapore is a good place, no doubt about it. Can we do a postgraduate course in food, drugs, and cosmetics after BSc Biotechnology? I am not aware we have such a program in PG. We may have in food, we may have in pharmaceuticals, we may have in cosmetics. All the three combined, I am not aware of. But as a BSc Biotechnology, anybody can join any of these programs, no problem. Even if you do BSc Botany, you can do that. That's not an issue at all. This also we already discussed of Tata Institute MSc, this thing. Certainly, those of you who want to pursue research, certainly, you want to do research or not is a big decision, because after you enter, at least you in 2 years you can decide I want to continue or not. Because PhD, full of uncertainty. So I would say that's a good thing. Okay. I am planning to pursue my master's degree abroad, but since I have a 3-year course instead of 4, this happens. So what many people do is they do a MSc, join MSc, complete that 1 year, then apply, so that they can go, because they have completed 4 years. Okay, so that is also possible. But if you do well in GRE, even with BSc, you can go. I know a lot of people who went and did PhD after BSc abroad. So it all depends upon this thing. So it is not necessary that you have to have 4 years. Okay, so there are a lot of brilliant boys I know who have done after BSc also. I am deciding to do a job after completing my bachelor's side by side by joining a master's degree, which work is preferable and will be easy to handle. In fact, many people, what they are doing is, today in the IT industry, they provide biological services, because that you can sit at any time and do. So you can do your one program as well as earn money. So earn while you learn is quite common. Okay, and as far as the further scope of biotechnology, country has a very ambitious program to do. Now we need people who can execute this. So scope is unlimited as far as, if you ask me. The country is very keen to promote it in a very big way. Okay. What are the requirements for job in an industrial area? Now, everybody wants certain skills. They are looking for a space, like somebody can do cloning, and they want to have somebody who does routinely all the cloning, they will hire you. So it is the skill set you have which matters and nothing else. Okay, third year students' questions. So second year, these were the questions asked. You have anything to ask before I move into the third year? Anybody? Okay. See, if you don't respond, I don't know whether you are.
Yes, students, don't sit like a silent spectator. Please answer.
Yeah, you can unmute and talk to me, no problem. Because I don't know whether I've given the answer to your satisfaction.
Please make it an interaction session, students. Sir is kind enough to, spend time with you, interact with you, address your queries. You need to be a little more active and interact with him.
Feel free to do that, no harm done. Okay. Okay, third year questions I am beginning with. What are the fields in which a biotechnology? I'll show that list for you in the end. Okay, because that's a long list, so I will show that, because that's why I said if you visit the DBT India website, you will come to know where all government is pushing, etc. And I'll give you a summary of it at the end. Kindly wait with me. At Pune University, they have a course named MBA in Pharma Biotech. Yes. So is it correct option to go for? If not interested in research, also what kind of job can we get by doing so? I think what you should do ideally is go to the program which they have and look at their website, and they'll tell you our student got placed here, this with this salary, etc. Because these days it is a day of marketing. So you can readily get what is the scope of, what kind of salary you will get, what job will you get, etc. But I must say, what I found was your institute, that UDCT or Institute of Chemical Technology, many students join there to study, BTech or MTech or whatever. And I found all of them get picked up from there, because that institute was set up by 50 industries in the early days, I remember. So what happens is there's a lot of interest. The university themselves, the industries themselves can pick up. So I would suggest you walk across and ask that the Institute of Chemical Technology, I think it is called now, please go across and talk to them, because they are your neighbors. So I suggest you go and visit them and talk to them, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to tell you about the pharma sector, dye sector, food technology. There are a whole range of programs, chemical engineering, In fact, our Mukesh Ambani is a product of that institute. So a lot of big industrialists are there who have studied from there. I think that will give, and I'm told everybody who joins a program there invariably gets picked up in good jobs. So please check up on it. So that is not this thing, okay? So food technology, certainly there are a lot of opening, but as I said, the salaries may not be that big. Its problem is the kind of money IT sector pays or MBAs get. Doing an MSc doesn't give you so much, but it depends upon you're going for money or you want to learn something. Because once you pick up, later your salaries will go up, because as you gain experience, you are in demand. Is MSc degree, though, I mean, what are all prepared you need to do when you start this degree? Well, ideally, you should start planning from your first year of BSc or second year or even third year, because that is where I want to say that, I've been telling that it needs a continuous interaction, and I'm willing to provide that interaction by forming a club, and where we keep on discussing. Okay, this is happening here. This is something opening is there. I can try for here. These are all things when you are you have a network of people with whom you are interacting all the time. So I strongly feel that preparation happens right from first year of joining BSc, that you start looking at where are all opportunities are and this thing. For example, let me tell you, I was very much keen on amino acid peptide proteins right from first year of my BSc. You won't believe, I even went on to do PhD. I worked in diagnostic industry. I worked in pharma industry. I worked in food technology industry. I worked in so many, because protein was a common thing. Only protein applied to diagnostic, protein applied to food technology, protein applied to, immunology. So, or protein applied to stem cell biology. So sometimes a hard, in-depth strength in, say, proteins or DNA or RNA, each of them are a core, and it is like you can diversify into any, because all of them are same biological molecules doing different functions. So I would rather say, ideally, you should have a core strength. That's why we talk about core subjects. And in any of them, the core subject, like biochemistry is a very core subject, because that is applied everywhere. So microbiology has certain subjects have to be this thing. So that strength you should develop. At least you should be familiar what I need to do, because the old tests have disappeared. What tests you do in your college are different. For example, there is a field called metagenomics. Suppose you have a mixture of a sample having mixture of microbes. Then you can do a genomic study and say what are all bacteria there. Because technology has become so easy now. See, for example, now COVID. Ideally, if somebody has COVID or not, earlier days, we will grow the organism and show that the organism is there in my culture. Today, I don't grow. I just do RT-PCR and tell whether I have COVID or not. Now, we don't know whether that COVID is alive or dead. We don't know, but we are doing RT-PCR. So what I'm saying is, many of the things which were supposed to be the final confirmation is not happening. We simply do RT-PCR because people would have standardized that, okay, whichever gives positive, the live one always gives. So many things which were there have changed. And if you are not moving with the time, And today, DNA sequencing is one of the easiest things. You know, people do it on a pen drive. You know, there's a pen drive where you put your DNA sample. All the reagents are there. It starts doing the sequencing. The sequence comes out on your desktop computer or your laptop. Technology has changed. You know, sometime I'll get somebody to talk to you how they are done today. So many things have changed. Technology has changed a lot. So what do you mean by what should be prepared with? You should know how to prepare a good sample. That becomes the most critical thing. The machine will do all the rest of the job. So having a good hand in preparing sample has become more important. That's why people who are doing internship in this pathology labs and all, many of the technologies are changing. So how do you process the sample? Do I get a false positive result? Do I get a false negative, true positive, true negative? I don't know whether you heard about in diagnostic test, the kit will say it is sensitive 99%, specific 98%. Do you know what does that mean? Children, anybody knows this? Or any students who are working in a hospital, pathologist, what is sensitivity and specificity? Hello? Anybody?
No, sir.
Okay. See, I'll just give you a quick example. For example, suppose somebody is testing for diabetes. So what does happen? He goes to the physician, the patient. The doctor will ask, okay, what are the symptoms you have? Sir, I do frequent urination, that. So he will say, तुम्हारा glucose test कराओ. Okay. So you go to the laboratory and they say, okay, your glucose level is say 150 milligram per deciliter. Okay. And they will check whether the physiological symptom like frequent urination, you know, there are a whole lot of criteria the physician would have recorded. And suppose it just so happens you go to the laboratory test and the value comes to 110 milligrams per deciliter. And normally our cutoff is 120 milligram or above means you are diabetic. You are likely to be diabetic. Below that, you are not diabetic. Suppose the guy shows all the symptoms, but the sugar value is, you know, only 110. Now, will you call him diabetic or not? Okay. So, the physician, the symptoms and the test. The tests are done to confirm the observation. So, now what happens? If suppose the person doesn't show the sugar level is below, then you will say it is a false positive. Because the symptoms are, if from symptoms point of view, from the test point of view, it will be false negative. Okay. So suppose you do the same kit on 100 people and record that symptoms are there. The test is say 110 milligram, somebody says 120, somebody doesn't show the symptoms, but the sugar is 130. You know, so you will say, okay, it's a false negative because it is showing. So this is how we tabulate, and the calculation of a sensitivity is true positive upon true positive plus false negative into 100. Okay, that means the sensitivity, the disease is there, and sensitivity, specificity is true negative upon true negative plus false positive into 100. That is, the disease is not there. So you have to show, the test should be able to say the disease is there or it is not there. That's why we talk about sensitivity specific. Some other time I can give you a detailed exercise on this to appreciate it more. So what I am saying is, so all these tests which are in the market, like for example, RT-PCR, the government has to approve. They would have a panel of samples, and how they respond to that, according to that only the kit will be accepted. That's why they'll give following kits are approved for testing. Did you get what I mean? So these are all part of the learning, you know, these are all, so how good the test makes a lot of difference. Did I answer your question? Okay. I want to work as a scientist in DRDO. Excellent. DRDO has a lot of opening. They have a whole lot of divisions there. or institute or DBT, certainly, but all of them have their own criteria. And I suggest you go to DRDO and see what are the divisions they have. You go to DBT site, some of them I'll show you today, okay? And other institutes are there. So you can look at CSR labs. There must be about more than 40 CSR labs. Then look at ICMR labs, Department of Atomic Energy labs, okay? Department of Space labs, you know, Ministry of Environment. No, every department requires people. So you will have a whole, only thing you should have that master list and then decide, okay, I'll apply now. Okay. Certainly you can do a part-time PhD while working. There's no problem about that. Okay. So that is possible. I wish to do my PhD in genetics or molecular biotechnology. So what all preparation should I do for MSc? Well, everywhere there's an entrance exam, and if you clear it only, they will admit you. So another is you should have scholarship. So you should appear for the UGC NET or CSR NET exam and pass through that exam so that you get a very good scholarship. They pay, I think, 28,000 per month plus housing and HRA or something. So it's as good as having a job, and still you can do your PhD. No problem. But the only thing, these fellowships are only for maximum 5 years. That's the only thing. You want to ask anything else?
Sir, about DRDO, whenever I check their website for recruitments, mostly recruitments are for engineering people or for physics, mathematics background students. I'm checking their site from almost 2 years now. I never see any recruitment from the field of biology.
No, they have a huge division of biology. What I will do is, why don't you discuss with me separately? I'll give you I'll give you some contacts to whom you can talk. Because I know a lot of people have done PhD there and employed. Okay. So there's a whole center. You have been looking probably at some other site of DRDO. DRDO is a huge organization. Okay.
Okay, sir, sure.
Please look at INMAS. Have you looked at INMAS? INMAS.
Okay, sir.
Institute of Nuclear Medicine. INMAS there is. Please look up whenever you get time. That is a biology unit. They have a lot of biological units. Okay. They have even a biological warfare unit also. So I think please look at it. If you need any help, please contact me. I'll do the note. Okay.
Thank you, sir. And so one more thing about PhD in genetics or molecular biotechnology. So do I need to develop some lab skills before applying for PhD, or I can learn those lab skills while doing PhD? You
will learn the skills while doing PhD, but see, they will conduct an interview. How much you know about genetics? In your MSc, how much have you learned? So that part you will have to clear anyway to be considered. So that basic knowledge on genetics is required. But let me tell you, genetics is also going through a lot of revolution. वो पुराना genetics नहीं रहा है. Because I can now do a whole human genome sequencing in 24 hours. So what Mendel talked and all are history now. Now you talk of the actual sequence and where is the mutation, all that you can see. Like you are seeing the COVID, no? How many variants they are reporting? Where is genetics here? Are you getting what I'm saying? Omicron, this, that, okay, this amino acid has changed to this. That's all what they're reporting. So today, genetics in the classical sense is not, it has changed, what I'm going to say. So please think over before thinking of PhD in genetics. Okay. A lot of questions are being raised. So please think over it well before jumping into it. You will have the old-fashioned people still doing PhD in genetics. But today's scenario with the technological advances, people are now learning more about machine learning and artificial intelligence because data is available. So people are doing MSc in data analysis, data analytics. In fact, IIT Madras has just offered for school children, if they are in 11th, they do a course for 4 weeks. They teach 4 subjects. At the end of it, they conduct an exam. If you pass the exam, they give you admission for BSc in data analytics. It could be arts, it could be commerce, it could be science, anything. Are you aware of this? So a lot of new opportunities are coming, my dear children. Keep your eyes in. That's why I said it's very important to form a club, so that in the club we can always keep telling you what is happening. If you're part of a group, it becomes easier to get information. Do you get what I mean, children?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So I have a query over here. Like, I want to pursue MSc in agriculture after completing my biotech, BSc Biotech.
Yes.
So I just want to know, like, which institute offers this ICAR MSc, and what kind of book I have to refer for entrance.
See, basically what you have to realize is that nowadays for all these exams, standard multiple choice question books are available in the market, which you'll have to sit and practice. Okay. And they will tell you what is the syllabus required. Go through, make sure you are familiar and do those problems. So today, everything is available, you know, for a payment of a money. The question papers are available, you can do it. So that is, so the whole entrance exam business has become more, you know, what to say, either you start preparing from first year and on your own for the next 3 years, and then you'll be ready to clear any of these exams. Otherwise, you start preparing at the end. So I would say that, why don't you talk to me separately? I'll put you in touch with some people who are directly involved with this, so that they will advise you.
Thank you so much. That will be more like useful for me.
Yeah, I have people in agriculture, so I can ask them to, you can have I can fix up a meeting with them to discuss how to prepare.
Sir, sure, please let me know about it.
Because they also have, just like IAS and all, they also have an exam called Agriculture Recruitment Board. Agriculture Research Scientist Selection Board is there. ARSB or something they call it. You should look at that also.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, because that gives you, because you can apply in that, because they recruit for biotech also there. It's a job. Okay, and many of them have done PhD after joining there. Yeah, okay. So just it's like an civil service. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
So yes, आजकल बहुत opportunity. That is why I said, in one shot I can't give you all the answer, because each one's requirements are different. So I'll get you an expert to talk to you on, if you want to get into this, you know what to do. Is that clear? I know many biotech students are in the agriculture recruitment service. You know, so these are all happening. So everybody has started this. You understand? Like now, you can become a scientist B in CSIR with an MSc degree. So a lot of things have changed now. Okay, so that we can discuss that. Agriculture, there's a lot of scope, no doubt about it. Okay. In fact, there is an organization called NABI also, you can look up at that. These are all DBT institutions. DBT has a big program on agriculture. Okay?
Okay, sir.
PG diploma is also very, for example, there's MBA programs. What IIM Ahmedabad offers is PG diploma. Okay, they call themselves, but that's a PG diploma and MBA only. Because the advance, see, in fact, with the new education policy, you know, the new rule is if you complete first year, you get a certificate. If you complete second year, you get a diploma. Third year you complete, you get a degree. Fourth year you complete, you get degree with research. This is a new nomenclature starting from 2022. Okay, so a lot of things are changing now. So it will take a bit of while for people to understand what is that. This new education policy has brought in a lot of changes. Okay, so this PG diploma and all, you will get a diploma after doing second year of BSc now. That is the halat now. Okay. If one doesn't want to get into research, what are the other options to become? Well, one of my very strong suggestion to all of you is you must learn some statistics. You know, if you can go and join Indian Statistical Institute and do an MSc in statistics, world is open. because all the data analytics, artificial, all are based statistical methods. So another option which nobody has asked me, but I suggest please go and look up for MSc in statistics. Okay? Because that's a huge area. In fact, I feel that computer science should have been part of mathematics, because all are mathematical equations with which they are playing, and a lot of statistics is involved. So unfortunately, many of us avoid maths and statistics, but I strongly feel if you like, you must do it, because statistics gives you a bigger platform to perform. And India is very famous for statistics. I mean, internationally known, what they call as multivariate analysis and all that. If you want, you can, one of the greatest mathematicians we have produced is a man called C.R. Rao. He is 102 years old and still alive. Read about him. You know, he has got as a prize as equivalent to Nobel Prize in statistics. So statistics is a very, because when in data analysis, because everybody is now looking for data analysts. You would have seen, no, even IT industry is looking for data analysts. Big this thing. And IIT Madras, as I said, is starting BSc data analytics. So professions are changing. And I think biotech also, because also will need data analysis. So it is worth doing a course in data analytics. Now, somebody wants to know what are the other options? Other than research, you can go into marketing, you can do patenting, you can do what to say, you know, survey kind of a thing. You can go into insurance sector, a whole lot of everywhere, the banking sector, everywhere they need biotechnologists now. So biotechnologies have become all pervading, if you ask me. Can you give a brief explanation on clinical research and its scope? See, clinical research is basically, suppose there is any compound, whether it is safe or not, or it is showing the efficacy. Suppose somebody discovers an active compound. Suppose, say, somebody has discovered a compound X, which seems to be killing cancer cells, a particular cancer cell, say. Now, that compound we have to test. So what we do is what is called first thing. Suppose I may have 100 compounds which are showing this activity. Now, I can't be doing clinical research on all the 100 compounds. So what I do, first way of level of elimination is what is called toxicological studies. So now earlier we used to do these toxicological studies on animals. Now animal testing is banned. You cannot do. So what we do now is we take the cell lines. It could be liver cell line, it could be kidney cell line, and then put the compound and see what happens to the compound. Whether the cell die means it is toxic to this thing. So that is rejected. So if there are 100 compounds, you may hardly come down to 10 compounds which are non-toxic. Then these 10 compounds are taken for further studies. So then they do what is called a phase 1 trial. Then the phase 1 trial normally is done to the terminal patients invariably. They give whether it affects them in any way. Then you go to phase 2. Then you have a phase 3 is a many multi-centric trials we do. Then the product is launched. Okay. And each time you have to submit the report to the Food and Drug Administration, okay, or Director General of Health Services in India. So there's a panel sitting which will look at all the data, and they said, okay, you can go ahead. Okay, then it is monitored on the field what happens. And sometimes what happens after going into the field, it gives some problem. People are dying of heart attack or something else. Number of people who are taking this, the percentage who are dying due to heart attack. Then immediately the drug is recalled. You please retest it again. So this normally the old process will take about 10 to 12 years. That is why, you know, suppose you discover a compound and you take a patent. The patent life now they have made it 20 years for a compound. So by the time the product comes in the market, 12 years are lost. So the company only has a chance to make money between the 12th year and 20th year. So they jack up the price to recover all their investment. And the investments are huge. Something like 2,000 crores would have gone down the drain to launch the product. So now, if they are not able to recover that money, then they get into a problem. So they jack up the price. Okay. For example, there is a particular technology nowadays used for cancer, what is called CAR T cell technology. That is chimeric antibody receptor technology. You know, for one patient to do, you know how much they charge in USA on the average? $500,000, $500,000. That is 4-5 crore lag jata hai. Because there are so many steps involved. But they have found that the patients fully recover, even they who are about to die are alive and running about. So these clinical trials have to verify that. So that's why clinical research becomes very, very important. Okay, did I answer your question? Okay, can you suggest colleges in India for MSc? In fact, CFTRI is one, another is NIFTM is another one. Then your neighboring institute, I told you, India Institute of Chemical Technology, what is that, is also a very famous one. Then so many other places are offering, every university has a for technology now, MSc or an MTech. Okay, any questions? Okay. Well, job opportunities after doing MBA depends upon which company. You want to be in pharma, you want to be in diagnostics, you want to be in, any other industry. Their requirements are different. So there is always a thing. So MBA, you don't have to do any laboratory, but you have to create the market. You have to bring business. So a lot of pressure on you. Which one is better, MSc or MBA in biotechnology? It depends what is your ambition. You want to make a lot of money or you want to just so MBA certainly you'll get, but today MBAs are also not getting that kind of salary with everybody imagine. It is not happening now. Market is down, so we don't know. I don't know what it will be after 2-3 years, I don't know, but generally that MBA is no more that great paying as it was thought. Okay. For example, an IIM Ahmedabad, I'm told expenditure for doing an MBA is about 17-18 lakhs. Now, how fast do you recover? Many of them take bank loans and do it. How fast you recover that money depends upon the kind of jobs you get. Okay, so everybody is not Sachin Tendulkar. Remember, 1 or 2 might get 1 crore, 2 crore salary, but on the average it won't be that high. Let me tell you, it will be in 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs max. So please don't get carried away. Like everybody wants to become a cricketer, they think they'll become Sachin Tendulkar. I think it is thinking, not realistic thinking. Okay, but playing in IPL, you get reasonably good money. Even playing for your state, you get a reasonably good amount of money per match. So that's okay. I mean, you are earning your money. Okay, what do you think Indian company will match level? See, USA, UK is not that great anymore, but USA certainly, they are much, much ahead. The kind of investment, for example, this COVID, kind of money they put in, unthinkable. One of my students is working, he's a very senior fellow in biological events. I think that's a company. No, New England Biologicals in Boston. He used to supply enzyme not more than 15 liters. Okay. Because of COVID, he had to supply something which was 43,000 liters. He said, we had to create a whole new building and the government gave us money to do it. We made so much of money out of it because we scaled up. We never knew, but US government. So he said this kind of, we had to send 6 tankers of the enzyme for the particular mRNA vaccine. So he says that country was ready to do it, that level of this thing. So the system is like that. This happened with penicillin also in US, when it was commercialized, all the fermenters were available to grow penicillin in US in 1940. So what I'm saying is, US is anyway, they invest money, they believe in R&D. In India, the investment in R&D is very poor. Okay, so that's the issue which comes. UK is not bad. UK is not doing that well. Canada is reasonably good. Okay. What is the scope of biotech field like pharma, biotech, or food biotech, or in MBA or math? Well, scope is there, but I can't exactly pinpoint because pharma is also going through its own challenges because of IPR. And in India, we don't have much of our own IPR. We only make generic products. So generic product, if we make, China also can make, Indonesia also can make. So that's a cutthroat competition. Just to give you an example, there used to be an antibiotic called ciprofloxacin, which was made by Eli Lilly. When the patent was growing, Ranbaxy managed to develop a process, and they were making the, it was originally costing, I think, about 400 rupees a tablet or something. Ranbaxy managed to make it at 25 rupees a tablet in the market. They were very excited, they did something. Within 6 months, Reddy Labs came out with 12 rupees a tablet. The original raw material cost itself for Ranbaxy was 12.5 rupees. So they bought it from Reddy Labs and did it. Within another 6 months, another fellow came for 7 rupees a tablet. So in generic medicine, this is the biggest problem. And now Ranbaxy has wound up itself. It is not there. The company doesn't exist anymore. It is taken over by Sun Pharma. So this in this what I call a generic business or products which are off patent, challenges are too much because anybody can do it. So can you compete with them? It is like bulk drugs. I'm told that China, all these bulk drugs are available at 30% cost cheaper than what we make in India. So we all imported from China. Suddenly, Prime Minister announced we won't buy anything from China. The whole sector sat down because we couldn't do it. So too many vagaries of policy decisions which happen. Okay, so how things are going to be, only time will say. Okay. What is the difference between MSc in preservation and packaging, MSc in food science and technology? Well, these are all, each has become very specialized. How to preserve means, can I keep it at room temperature? So the technology for all that is totally different. And nowadays, for example, say, just to give you an example, suppose you have to keep something, say, at minus 20 degrees. Now they have sensors put there. Through Wi-Fi, the company can monitor how the storekeeper is keeping. Invariably, what happens, these storekeepers, when they go home at night, they switch off all the lights. Even they switch off the fridge. Subah aake hum on kar lenge. And then they switch it on. But the company gets recorded that this fellow has switched off and the temperature has risen from minus 20, say, to 1 degree centigrade. Immediately goes there and recalls. So that is the kind of packaging technology we are talking now. Okay. And for example, say you have coconut water. Okay. Now we are only told that microbes only can be killed by heat. But now we also know that by applying high pressure, also microbes can be killed. So there's a high pressure, and that's how coconut water are all packaged and sold. They are all. That's why it is so expensive. The technology is expensive. So the cost of the coconut water is very high. So what I'm saying is that, so this preservation and packaging is a totally a different domain, whereas food science and technology is essentially making the food products. So there are two different domains, the little I understand. Did I answer your question? Okay. Well, food science and technology will always have a future because people need food to eat. So then that field will never die. So there's no question of what is the future. It will be stable. It may not grow in a dramatic way. But if you go to America and all, you will see what food industries, we are nothing. Kind of how much food they waste and how much they eat is unbelievable. So That's another ball game. So their food technology is a huge industry. Small player cannot simply survive there. Okay. Whereas in India, we still haven't come to that. Our biggest one is milk collection. Otherwise, we are nowhere near that kind of levels. Okay. Okay. So this future and all is an individualist thing, and it will change with the technology available. So you cannot, and technology is changing every day. So it's very unfair to ask that question, what is the future? Because the future will change with the technology. Okay. Like, who thought that so many types of vaccines will be available? Please tell me. Unthinkable. mRNA vaccine, neat inactivated, viral connected one, a whole lot. Now, I mean, if you start looking at vaccine, in fact, probably we can do a degree in vaccine technology. I'm surprised nobody has started that, because that's how much it has grown. If you want to know more about vaccine, I also have a video, one where I paid a tribute to Louis Pasteur in mind. This thing, have a look at it. You will come to know what is happening in the vaccine field. Okay, there are a lot of interesting videos which will give you an idea. One on CAR T cell technology is also there. There is one on checkpoint inhibitor for cancer. So anytime I can go through that with you and tell you what is happening to know more about it. Okay, so I keep releasing these videos for children to know more about it. Okay. Can you guide me about marine bio? Well, I'll put you in touch with the expert in the marine biotechnology. Okay, certainly there's a big scope, because now that land is not available, people are trying to grow things in the sea and all that. So that's a huge business, and some Indians are doing very well in that business. Okay, so I can certainly put you with the marine people for that. Okay. So the forensic science we have already talked about. MPhil, no more MPhil is allowed. Huh? The country has abolished MPhil. So you have to do PhD only and nothing else. And now it is that after 4 years BSc, 4-year bachelor degree, you can now directly do PhD. They're all new education policy. Okay. What is the scope? All that we have discussed. Many questions are repeating here. Which are the best colleges? That depends upon what you want to do. Because college will have certain strengths, certain weaknesses. For example, if you look at IIT, they will say, okay, this branch is very good in this IIT. When the IIT admission happens, oh, you got there, try for this one. So every institute has some experts available which have made a name for themselves. So it varies from institute. It's a area specific. Okay. So saying best colleges and all is, how are you going to benefit is more important, because everybody gets a grade and all. That doesn't mean anything. What do you get out of it is more important than calling it a best college and all that. It may be the worst college, but you might be, for you, it might be the best college. So please, so you look at your selfish point of view rather than what the world talks about. Okay. Okay. Food technology, what skills, that all is something we can discuss separately. Okay. Now let me see. And just let me pick up. Everybody is asking on food technology, and I think we have discussed a lot on this. All these questions which you have asked, these are all already answered. There's an interesting question. As my parents want me to earn better, so what suggestion do you give me that which field of biotechnology should I go to earn better? It's a very interesting question. Number one, even if I suggest, but whether you have the competence in that field, it varies. Like today now, for example, bioinformatics in certain areas have a huge scope. Okay, like that it can suggest, but it depends upon, until I talk to you personally and know what are your strengths and weakness and what you can succeed, then I can suggest. I cannot make an off-the-cuff remark on this. Okay. Is there well, biotechnology has scope anywhere in the world. I mean, if you are good, you will be picked up. But the problem with many of these foreign countries is they won't give you permanent residentship or green card. For example, in USA, I'm told green card is taking something like 16, 17 years to get. You apply today, it takes 16, 17 years. So it's a very frustrating experience. Whether you want to go through it is your choice. Okay. So going abroad has its own plus point, minus point. That is the individual cases, which university you get in, etc. Whole lot of, but it's very expensive studying in USA. In a good institution, and master's program may cost you as much as nearly $80,000 to $100,000. That is about into 70 rupees you put. So you can imagine how much it is. So 70, 80 lakhs will be required to do that kind of, if you spend your own money up there. Okay. Well, biotechnology is useful in geology, astronomy, everything is useful, but it depends how many people are interested. Okay. So I'll stop over here, and then I'll just quickly go through some, some people had responded to the survey. I think about 7 people responded. Based upon that, 71.43% said they want to do MSc. About 14.29% said they want to study abroad. Nobody wanted MS, PhD or internship or MBA, about 14.29%. And this was very interesting. In which branch people want to do the MSc Biotechnology, number of students opted were only 14.29%. Genetics had 28.57%. Biochemistry has 14.29%. And I could see a lot of people in your university probably are interested. So the sample survey shows 28.57% of the students are in food technology. There are other choices people didn't even express, bioinformatics or immunology, etc. So this is what I discovered. Okay. Now I want you to know, because you asked a lot of questions, so I'll quickly go through what are the various scientific units of Department of Biotechnology. So one is agricultural plant science. So those of you who look at their site. If somebody is interested in plant biotechnology and bioresearch, look at that site. Medical intervention, there is a separate unit. Infectious disease biology, there is separate. Human genomics and oncology, that's where most of your genetics and all come, is there. Computational biology is there. Chronic diseases and human nutrition. Energy and environment. Animal, livestock and allied sciences. These are all branches. So some of you are only interested in a few, but I don't know the rest of them what they are interested in. Please have a look. Okay. Government has created under the Department of Biotechnology. There is if you want to do immunology, look at National Institute of Immunology. If you want to do animal tissue culture and cell sciences, look for National Center for Cell Sciences in Pune. There is a National Brain Research Institute in Gurgaon, a place called Manesar, if you are interested to do brain research. If you want to do, forensic science, some people said, one of the things is DNA fingerprinting and diagnostic, then it is in Hyderabad. Then you have National Institute of Plant Genome Research, that is in Delhi. You have Institute of Life Sciences in Bhubaneswar. Then in the Northeast, we have Institute of Bioresources and Sustainable Development. Translational Health Sciences is in Faridabad. Institute of Stem Cell Sciences in Bangalore. Rajiv Gandhi Centre of Biotechnology is also in Faridabad. Then we have public sector. Somebody wants to work in industry. So we have what is called Bharat Immunologicals and Biologicals Corporation. Another is Indian Vaccine Corporation Limited, if called. You can look at that. Another is suppose somebody wants to develop their own industry or start business. Then we have what is called Biotechnology Industry Research Association. They provide money. For example, if you put 10 lakhs, the government will give you 10 lakhs. So they become partner in your development, help you to develop your business. And a lot of companies are benefited by this BIRAC program. If you want to collaborate with some foreign country, DBT will help you. They have collaboration with Belgium, Netherlands, Denmark, Germany, Switzerland, Spain, South Africa, Australia, UK, European Union in general, France, Sweden, Finland, Norway, America, you have Brazil, Colombia, Canada, USA. Asia, you have Japan, Russia. Then there are also NGOs, if you want to collaborate with them, there are multilateral arrangements. There's a competitive grant system. Then you have what is called, and this multilateral. Please search for fold scope. They have make very cheap microscopes and other things which you can use for your survey and all that. So some of you are interested in, as undergraduate student to do some of this survey and things like that. They provide just go and search in the Google fold scope. This is Cancer Research UK is also, we have this thing. So you want to see prevalence of particular cancer and all that, you can see over there. Okay, then you have competitive grant system also in these, so you can tie up with somebody and jointly apply for grant. Okay, then you have outreach program. There is a mechanism to popularize. So you have to go to the website. Then there's how to manage big projects. That's also a big subject today, what is called project management system. Okay, I also want you to know that India has a science technology innovation policy. The new policy is just coming, should be out anytime. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, country had to replan. So it provided a compelling opportunity for R&D institutions, academia and industry to work in unison for sharing of purpose, synergy, collaboration, cooperation. So many of you have huge opportunity. So a lot of startups have come up, and you also could begin with a startup. And if you need any help, certainly I can hold your hands for some time to develop your own. Okay. So ultimately, all of us want to climb. So, as KKBiotech, and, we inspire people, then you ideate, and then we implement. So we do mentoring activities. So it can do it done on an individual level or as a group, like some of you are interested in a particular area. So you can form a group and we will help you with how to do that on a regular. As I said, if you become, then we can, we can meet twice a month. And if there are more than 100 students, members, then I can come over there and do it for you. And we are charging, if it's a group of more than 10 or so, we charge about 4,000 rupees for a year per head, so that I can bring people, at all the rest expenditure is mine, bringing people to your college, interacting with them, etc. Or if you want to become an individual, it will be 5,000 rupees per plus GST, which is 18%. That is 900, so 5,900 for a year. So we can also give personalized training and internship, and we also can run some short-term courses of say 10 lectures, for which the money can be fixed. So average, you can say per hour we charge 500 rupees per day, because experts will come who have to be paid. So we can discuss further on this as you want. So our idea is to inspire, ideate, and implement. Okay. But I've been closely associated with His Excellency the late Abdul Kalam. So and you remember he made a Vision 2020 for India. So I've been closely associated with him at some point. So certainly our idea is to help to promote biotechnology among people like you. So anybody, or even you can tell your friends to become members, we will come. If I have enough members, then I can always come once a month or once in 2 months and spend a day with all of you, and then share some knowledge or subject expertise. Because having worked, I can bring the expert also to sit and tell you before you visit a place. Okay. So we facilitate universities, institutions. I help quite a few universities. I advise them what they should be doing. So for your student, for you people, I can do a separate arrangement. Okay. And we also give certificate. We provide internship, industrial training if you want. If you want to understand some concepts before plunging into it, all that we can provide. I have a lot of, you will see I have a lot of experts also in my company profile who are all my former students at some point. They are more than happy to be associated. Okay. So thank you so much. And I will stop over here.
I think one student has a query. Yes, Rohan.
Yes, sir. So most of the institutes of DBT, like its course that I checked out, they are basically, so correct me if I'm wrong over here, So most of there's a research institute, right? They don't offer any graduation degree or a post-graduation degree as such, except of Rajiv Gandhi University.
Yes. No.
So we could get.
Yeah, please continue. Yeah.
So we could get into this institute as a job point of view, right?
Yeah, job point. Like you can join as a research assistant and things like that. They pay you salary, and it's a great exposure.
Okay.
Because so many institutes are there. So as a BSc, they would love to have you because you are young, and I'll tell you, when I started CCMB, I remember one boy joined me with a BSc. There are 3-4 technical BSc students who are with me. So I knew that if this boy, so I made him do evening MSc in chemistry. So he used to go at 5 o'clock to the institute in the evening study. You won't believe he did MSc, he did finish, then he did PhD, and he became a senior scientist in CCMB. One day I'll ask him to come and talk to you people. Exactly after BSc, he did this because his family wanted him to earn. So, so there are a lot of opportunities. People have been successful even after BSc. It is not that you have to do. So if somebody is very desperate that the family conditions don't allow them to go higher, I will certainly help them to, advise what they can do, and certainly it can be worked out.
Because what was the procedure that got him into CCMB? Like he had to get.
Well, he applied for a job. He applied for a job. He wrote an entrance exam, a written exam. He cleared that. He appeared for interview. He answered my question. I picked him up. I didn't know him.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So anybody, see, people apply for jobs. They go through the process, and we try to see if they are good. We pick them up. And you won't believe he's really good in the subject. So our idea is to help. That's why I'm interacting with you people. Can I help you in any way? Okay. Yeah, please.
Vishwesh, but yeah.
So if I'm not wrong, I think the biotech jobs are broadly classified into industry and academic research. So what is like the difference and pros and cons of both of them? Also, I have got to know by word of mouth that dry lab jobs are more comfortable rather than wet lab jobs. So how is that even true?
For example, say if you look at COVID epidemic, you think a dry lab would have helped? You have to make the product, no? People have to be saved. So you can't always be sitting on a computer and enjoying life. Say. Somebody has to do the hard work. And emergency happened, are we ready? So there's nothing called, so industry today is geared. That's why Bharat Biotech or, Serum Institute and all went wholeheartedly to make the vaccine production here. So nowadays, after this COVID-19, issues have changed in a very, very big way. Because are we prepared for any? Like every time we are worried, oh, next wave of COVID, will it be bad? All the time we are thinking how to make the vaccine, what to do. This is what is happening all the time. Am I right? So COVID-19 has changed our whole perspective. Don't compare before pre-COVID times. Like we all belong to that generation who have worked. And today, when I look at it, I can't advise people what they should do. Because emergencies, you'll have to change yourself. And are you ready? And that's why I'm saying you are 3 years, if we can form a club and be prepared, you should be able to jump as opportunities arise. We only can, are we ready with the skills to jump into anything? Like I'll tell you, I did my PhD. I went abroad, I got in a good place. Then I suddenly got a job in CCMB. I was one of the early people. Very difficult to get a job in CCMB. After 4 years, the biotechnology program. So somebody said, why don't you join us to teach? Okay, I joined. Then I said, no, I don't have experience of making a product. So I joined the industry. So I did the fundamental work on stem cell research and how to commercialize in those days. Then they said, okay, Ranbaxy invited me as a general manager at the age of 40. So as opportunities came, I had the skill, and people are looking for people with that skill set. So you have to be ready with a bag of things in your hand, so that when opportunity arises, you apply. So I went to Ranbaxy. Then somebody was having a problem making whey protein from buffalo milk. They came running to me. So I went to their industry, spent a year and got it commercialized. They had invested 3 crores. They didn't know how to recover their money. I got them recover their money. So this nutraceutical was a word. I coined it in 97. Today, everybody talks about. But what I'm saying is, I was very lucky in my life that I could shift as I wanted. I never stayed in a job more than 3-4 years. But I enjoyed every moment. Then I got a chance to set up this university. I took that, okay, let me create a BTech in biotechnology. I did it. Then Kalam Saab said I must join as a Vice-Chancellor and so on. I went there. So what I'm saying is, you should have skills ready in your pocket, so that when an opportunity, you should be able to jump. And I always tell children, are you prepared for it? And that is what is very important. So you must have your networks, you must have your club where you meet and talk. And this is somehow it is not happening, because children are too lost in seeing things in the net and not talking to people. I think, can we spare at least 2 days in a month for 2 hours in a month where we discuss, where I can come and share with you, make people meet, where the opportunities are. Like this networking, when we say no, often people get jobs from people whom they didn't like. They were not even their friends. They will suddenly call you, hey, I know you have done this, yeah, there's an opportunity, why don't you apply here? So that's how many of us get jobs. People come and tell us. Like I remember when I was, one day walking in Delhi in Connaught Place, one of my friends called, oh, we are setting up a new university. We want to start biotech. Why don't you apply? We are looking for somebody like you. So because he said, I went and applied, and I became professor and dean overnight. So what happens is, you have to have that club-like activity. People will know. So some of your friends come, oh, there's an opening there, man. So please, why don't you apply there? So that's how people find jobs. You ask anybody. And it has been suggested sometimes by your enemies, whom you thought were your enemy. They would have suggested your name. And yeah, that guy is good at that. I don't like him, but the guy is good at that. That's how people get jobs. You ask anybody. You ask your parents. Everybody gets chance by not, somebody has to discover your potential. And do you have that potential? Did I answer your question? So don't go by what people say. Each case is individual.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Kannan.
Yeah, sure.
Any more queries, students? Yes, Avni, you have raised your hand. You can ask.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Good morning.
Sir, as you mentioned before about the statistics, I wanted to ask you that do we have to choose a particular biostat course, or we can pursue
Nothing. See,
statistics?
once you go there, join strategy, they'll give you specializations in many fields and the final year. So please look at Indian statistics. Like, for example, I joined chemistry in IIT Bombay, just to give you. So MSc Chemistry first year, I do all the branches. Then I have to choose 2 electives in the final year. Okay. So I said, okay, I will use natural products or organic chemistry or synthetic. I just specialize in them and do other courses. So this is what happens in any institute. That you need to know other areas also. And this one, you go deeper into it. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So each institute, so there's nothing like you have to do biostat just because you did biology. That is not. You can always come back to your biology anytime.
Okay.
Like I did chemistry. I entered biology in my PhD. Otherwise, a hardcore chemist. But my strength in chemistry, I have never done a course in biochemistry. But I became an expert in biochemistry because on my own. Because I worked in the lab. I know what happens. Okay, so many times what I'm trying to say is that as opportunity open, you will learn what has to, because you want to convert your weak points into strength. Already you have strength, why do you want to make it stronger? That you can do it when you practice. Am I right?
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you for answering the question, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, students, anyone else has any query?
Yes, hi ma'am. Rohan here again.
Rohan, tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. So the club you spoke about, I would be more than happy to be as a student representative from Khalsa to convene and lead to the inception of this club. So what procedure will have to exactly go through? I mean, Indumati ma'am, could you please also orient us over it a bit?
What is that? What is that? I couldn't hear you. Too much echoing was happening. Can you repeat your question a bit slowly? Yeah. Can you repeat?
Yes, sir. Sir, I spoke about the inception of this club that you're constantly mentioning about.
Yes.
We would be more than happy to have such club at Khalsa College, and I, as a second-year student, would love to convene around the inception of this club.
Sure, I appreciate. So what I suggest, see, I have some people have already inquired from the first year also. I said if there are about, say, more than 10 students group, because each one might be interested in a particular domain. Am I right? Everybody won't be interested in everything, to begin with. Say somebody say, I want to go into, say, molecular biology. Somebody says, I want to go into food technology. So if I have a group of 10 people interested in that, then what I can do is I can charge 4,000 rupees per year, okay, plus government tax of 18%. Otherwise, if you want to become an individual, suppose you are not able to form a group of 10, then I charge 5,000 rupees for 1 year. Okay, and we'll be meeting twice in a month, where we will spend 1 or 2 hours discussing, or discussing how to go about, get an expert who will talk to you, so that you get familiar. So we can create, either everybody become general member of, and then specialization we can do, because if everybody is interested in many other things, we can work out. But if you are a group of 10 in a particular area interested, I can give it at 4,000 rupees for 1 year. Okay. And
exactly.
Okay. And if individually you want to do this thing, 5,000. But suppose I come and do, say, if somebody wants to know stem cells in healthcare, I want to get oriented to this. I can arrange a 10-part lecture, then I can charge, say, 5,000 rupees per student to come and give those 10 lectures. So average, I'm giving about 500 rupees, because expert has to be paid also, say, because none of them come, because all these experts are expensive. They may be my friends, but they will say, look, if I bring them to Bombay, I'll have to put them in a 5-star. They expect all those comforts. So anyway, that's not your concern. But I said, if there are 100 people members, then I can easily afford to entertain them, to come and spend time.
In fact, what we have thought is, like, the first year session was over already on Friday. So today, after the session, we'll have a meeting with all the students, the first year, second year, and the third year. And then if more students are interested, then I'll just get back to you, sir, regarding the club.
Yeah. Not only that, see, the first year students require a different level of mentoring. The second year will require a different level. So don't pull all of them together, because then the first year will feel both advanced. Okay. The third year people will say both elementary. Because all are starting at different levels. So I would like to do a personalized, personal hand holding, because they may like to ask some questions which, if seniors are there, they might get inhibited.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Because ultimately they should benefit. I mean, more than anything, they should feel, okay, at the end of it, I benefited by it. That my career is made. So I would like, for me, it is more important that every child benefits. And, and we keep interacting. So I come to know many things you want. Then I'm okay, sir, I want to know more. Then I might send you a paper on it, or call somebody, yaar, iske baare mein isko batao ya.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A lot of personalized activity will happen.
Okay, sir. Okay, sure.
And because if there are more, then I can come once in a month or once in 2 months to your institute and spend a day with them. Each first year separate, second year separate, third year separate, because they may have a lot of questions to ask.
Yes, sir.
You know, because see, learning is a slow process. I can't do it in 1 hour.
Correct.
So that's what I feel.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes. Sure.
So
Any more questions, students? Okay. Now I request Gayatri of TY to propose a vote of thanks. Gayatri?
Yes, ma'am. A very warm and graceful morning to our most valued Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Kannan Krishnamoorthy, sir, worthy teachers, and my dear friends, and everyone gathered here. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked really hard to make this career guidance session a success. On behalf of my TY class, SY class, and Biotech department, I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Kannan Krishnamoorthy, who spared time from his busiest schedule to guide us for future. Today, we have an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in our future events. Your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. Events like this cannot be a success without efforts of our dear teachers, Indumati Pushparaj ma'am, Priyanka Dave ma'am, Shrushti Gamre ma'am, and our respected HOD Geeta Sadani ma'am, and our former HOD late Dr. Sneha Panvalkar ma'am. I grant my vote of thanks to all teachers on behalf of TY class. I once again thank everyone present in this session for your participation. Thank you.
thank you so much, Gayatri, and all the students present here. You know, I think there are more than 50 questions, and I hope I could do justice to the best possible extent. And I thank you for coming on a Sunday. And I really enjoyed being with you, and wish you all the best, and let us keep in touch. All the best.
Thanks a lot, sir. The information that you have given today is really gold. Like, you know, I at every point I was feeling that, you know, I think I should enroll myself into most of these institutes, get the training done, and, you know, like.
No, I'll help you. I'll definitely help you, because I want teachers also to benefit, not just students.
Yes, yes.
That is why it is called Biotechnology Education for Students and Teachers Club.
Yes,
so both are stakeholders.
Because I am from second batch of biotechnology. I'm not saying like we didn't have interactions and guest speakers, but at that time our exposure was very limited.
I totally agree. I'll give you one small example. I'll just give you an example. You know, there is a girl called Dr. Mehak Sharma in IISER Mohali.
Okay.
She's a very well-known person now, one of the very upcoming scientists. So I used to hold, you know, every year I used to celebrate one of the unknown Indian scientist's birthday on 12th January. His name is Yellapragada Subbarao. So it used to be a 3-day event and all that, you know. So I used to call a lot of people, and there will be lovely lunches that day. So kids are more interested in lunches and then making boyfriends or girlfriends and having fun. And so nobody was serious in that sense. But I thought I was doing a great job. The more was the attraction of coming and sitting there. Then she became an assistant professor in IISER Mohali. She went to Harvard and all that. So she was reading this book called Emperor of All Maladies by Siddhartha Mukherjee. Suddenly she saw there is a 4-page write-up on Yellapragada Subbarao. Hey, this sounds very familiar. My sir used to celebrate his birthday. Then she called me, sir, I never knew he did such an important work. Okay. Then now she makes it compulsory that all the students know about his work. In IISER Mohali, it's compulsory that they have to know about him, and they have to read Siddhartha Mukherjee's book on Emperor of All Maladies, with a beautifully written book. So what I'm saying, even as students, they may not realize today what is the importance. But suddenly after 10-15 years, they say, hey, I also knew that. You know, that makes a big difference.
Yes.
So our idea is that it is seeded somewhere and it suddenly sprouts when the environment comes forth. So like that, I can quote you a lot of incidents.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, the whole idea of interaction is you hear somebody else talking a different language.
Yes. So thank you so much. Like, sir, you are into so many things, and like you are absolutely very busy. In spite of that, you know, at a short notice, you agreed to hold the interaction, and also you are keen to take things forward, like with the students, with the institute. So, you know, we are very, very grateful and thankful for that. Your guidance is going to, you know, be very, very valuable to us.
I'll certainly look forward. If I can be of any help, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you so much,
Bye-bye.
sir. Thank you. Yeah, students,
Yeah,
you can
bye-bye.
leave. Thank you so much.
Bye.